supposed to be Marilyn Monroe. How much fun am I having?
Okay, not me now. And I think is that me? I really am having a lot of fun.
Great.
Straight ahead.
Awesome. Yeah. That's for the woman. I don't know, but I'm going to film it.
You like it here?
Yeah. So far, I haven't done anything yet.
And you have to be at least.
He wants to eat some bugs.
If I put you on there, you'll win everything. He just shaved though. He looks younger than
Excuse me.
Okay.
Maybe Logan should get in there with a pig.
Competitors. Now, before we begin our competition, we do need some cheering teams. Everybody on this side of the bleachers, you will be cheering for Kylie, the big blonde-looking dog. And everybody over there will be cheering for Eddie, the big black dog. So anytime your dog is racing through the course, you need to make as much noise as possible to cheer him on. So let's give it a shot. Let's hear it for Kylie. Nicely done, but you guys can do better than that. Let's hear it for Eddie. Great cheering teams. Let me explain our course. One by one, our dogs will be jumping over Nick, racing through the slalom, take the turn, go through the shooting star tunnel, jump over Nick one more time, and finish with ringing the bell. Now, this is a timed event, so remember, the louder you cheer, the faster your dog will go. Kylie's up first. On your mark, get set, go! Just over 7 seconds. Excellent time, Team Kylie. I don't know, Team Eddie. Do you guys think you can beat that? Okay, let's find out. On your mark. Get set. Go! Yeah, that's nasty, Nick. You know, it's pretty warm out. That'll dry. Well, Eddie's fingers qualified. Kylie wins. That's for you. It's a dry cleaning coupon. Get your shirt clean. Sorry about that.
You didn't know he did that.
No. What happened to Eddie? Chrissy, get out here.
No, he's passed out.
He's passed out? Are you sure?
It's fun.
Do you have an idea?
He's just he just wanted to.
He's passed out. Oh, man, what's it going to take to revive him? Oh, hey. Look at that. Please tell me what can watch the show Hollywood Animal Actress Future Star. This is Archie. Now Archie is a 22-month-old baby orangutan, and we haven't had it today to give you guys an opportunity to see how amazing these animals are, but we also want Archie to get used to his new surroundings. Now many of the other animals you see in our show we have rescued from shelters and abandonment. But others like Archie's relatives in the wild are in danger of losing their homes. So here at Universal Studios Hollywood, we encourage everybody to do everything they can to help out all the animals in the wild and in captivity, because definitely you can see that.
Break that bacon.
Distribution is in danger too. Folks, have a round of applause for Archie. How about that? Oh, no. Thanks, Michael. I need help from an adventurous, brave little girl this time. A brave young lady, someone who is not afraid of any animals. Let's see. Oh, brave little girl. Oh, okay, over there in the brown shirt. Come on, be further for this.
Is it Julia?
Yeah, just push and shove. You're never going to see those people again. Come on over here. Use the stairs for me. In 1963, Alfred Hitchcock created a movie with Universal Pictures called The Birds. Let's take a look.
Oh, you're getting this, aren't you?
In that movie, The Birds, Timmy Henry's character was tormented by thousands of murderous birds. Now we're going to recreate our own version here at the Hollywood Animal Actors Show with our actress, Julia. Now, Julia, we're going to fly a bird out, okay? Now, whatever happens, don't move. All right, here we go. Whoa! Uh-oh. Don't move, Julia. You don't want to scare a pigeon sitting on your head. Okay, now, he missed his mark, Julia, so we're going to help him out a little bit. And oh yeah, that's nasty. You know what? Let that baby dry, you can flick it out later. We're going to help him out a little bit. This way he'll know exactly where to land, but just in case. Okay, Julia, it might work a little better if you whistle the bird out. Go ahead and whistle. Oh, that was pretty good. Try again. I think you might need a little more volume. Everybody whistle as loud as you can. We'll get this bird out. Everybody! Oh, give a round of applause for Julia from the South. She did a great job. Our next animal star is a 7-year-old male orangutan named Harry. We got it. Pretty sharp today, Harry. Look at that.
He was kidding.
How about a smile away for your fans out there today, Harry? Nice smile, nice wave. Blow some kisses too. Sweet sloppy orangutan love. Not too bad. Hey, show them your lips. Folks, orangutans have big lips. Look at these babies, they're huge. Oh yeah. Hey, give him a kiss. Show him your lips again. He does a great impersonation with them. You're going to love it. Mick Jagger. Don't be embarrassed. Now it's an exciting show. Everyone's laughing, seems to be enjoying themselves today, having a great time. Wouldn't you agree? It's pretty rude, man. Tell these people what you think of my show. Spit on the mic. That's not nice, don't hit me. Sorry, what was that? You making fun of me? Stick your tongue out. You owe me an apology. For helping me out. Students of Studios Hollywood and American Humane Association encourage you guys to check out your local rescue shelter when you're thinking about adopting your next pet. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day in the park. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John, and thank you, everyone, for joining us here at Hollywood Animal Actors.
Yeah. It is good.
I'm your clip jockey, Brad. You know, back in the early days of Universal's history, we set this.
Yeah, it's a tour.
And now we give you some monster classics on KUSH.
I don't know where they are. Here they come.
flimsy boardwalk people. These are true makeup artists. Smile, Julia. Hey, John. Hey, John.
How much is this each?
Park admission.
Huh?
12 bucks a pop. Oh, Julia, you're turning out like a superstar.
Yeah. Very technical.
Keep it closed.
Can you imagine what she's gonna look like with makeup on?
No thanks.
Can you see it though? Huh? It's gonna be a scary situation. I can see it.
Ice princess.
Ice princess. Ice princess. Julie wants the ice princess.
Olivia.
You want the ice princess?
Ice baby.
Okay, go right here. She'll give you your ice princess. Ice princess? Yeah. Is that kind of light color? No dark. No, I can't use purple. Use purple? Just a little bit, but okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Pretty sweet, Julia, pretty sweet. Oh, yeah, now we're talking. You got the best one again, Julia, again.
That actually does it good.
Score.
Yeah, this is perfect. Is it? How does she look though? You want one, Logan? You can have it. All right. Come on. Go ahead. No. There you are.
I will just 'cause I think she's almost done, isn't she?
Way wrong.
Okay, wait a second. I'm coming over. I'm fading out here. That's right.
This is get her whole face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want
I
her.
do.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, yo. Yeah. Rockin'.
Okay, don't move yet. There you go. Wow. Very mysterious. She's doing good.
Do you want one to do a
She's doing good.
Go ahead. I know. Well, he should get it. Don't you think? Yeah. Go ahead, Logan. Go pick one. You should get one.
Hang in there, mama. Sweet.
Well, Adam, maybe if Adam, if he wants one, he should get one.
I think you should do that green Hulk
Go
looking
ahead and
thing.
pick one, Logan. Just pick which one you want. Do you want it outlined in purple? Okay.
Oh, let's see. Look awesome, honey. Yeah, you're a true ice princess.
I wish your hair was bad.
No, she loves herself. Yeah.
Oh, right. You're
Look
something
at Mom.
special. Here. Julia and Olivia, I want you on that.
Turn around.
Turn around, Olivia, so I get your picture. Let me see your face. Why are you covered with
Pull your hair back. Yeah, don't pose. You're not supposed to wear
Come on, one more. Scoot closer to her. Bend down a little bit.
Maybe step off the curb.
Closer.
Step off the curb so you're lower to...
There you go. Now, there you go. Look at Dad. That's a good one.
Visionary Carl Laemmle brought his movie company west and opened Universal Pictures. On March 15, 1915, Mr. Laemmle invited the public to visit his studio, and the Universal Studio Tour was born. You see, Mr. Laemmle believed that movies should make people laugh, cry, or sit on the edge of their seats. And over the last century, Universal has been doing just that. I'll be back to check up on you guys a little later. In the meantime, I'm going to turn things over to your guy. Have a great time, everybody.
Thanks, Ron. Now, Universal is part of NBC Universal, one of the largest entertainment companies in the world. Not only including the Riddler's Lair from Batman Forever, Dracula's Castle and Frankenstein's Lab and those classic monster movies, and The Visitor Center from Jurassic Park. More recently, we shot You, Me, and Dupree, starring Kate Hudson, Owen Wilson, and Matt Dillon right inside of there. But take a look at your monitors and check out some more movies that have all shot inside of Soundstage 12.
Say hello to my little friend.
I am.
Now, recently we've been pretty busy here on our front lot. If you take a look over your left-hand side, that is Soundstage 25, and 25 along with 24, 23, and 22 are all home to one of television's hottest shows, CSI, starring William Peterson and Mark Halgenberger. Steven Spielberg used it for a couple of scenes for his movie War of the Worlds. In fact, towards the end of this tour, you'll be seeing a spectacular set used in that film. So now, take a look over to your right and check out one of the oldest sound stages in the world, constructed in 1925 to house the elaborate Paris Opera House, starring Lon Chaney in his most famous film role in Phantom of the Opera. Take a look at this. Since then, it has been home to a Bride of Frankenstein, Mother from Psycho, a vengeful T-Rex, and the Grinch. Oh yeah. Now, recently this corner of the backlot was used for some filming of the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, starring Lucas Black and newcomer Natalie Kelly. Over on your left-hand side, inside of Soundstage 27, is where we built Mission Control for Apollo 13.
Realism was an essential element for Apollo 13. We thought about filming in Houston, Texas, where the original control room for the Apollo mission still exists. Unfortunately, NASA's engineers didn't have filmmaking in mind when they built Mission Control. We had to build our own Mission Control inside Stage 27. Everything had to be exact, even down to the tiniest detail.
All right, now like I I said, not only do we film movies here, but television shows as well. Over on your right-hand side are some of the sound stages where we produce and shoot some of your favorite shows to hit network television. Our television history goes back some 67 years with the transmission of the opening day ceremonies in the 1939 New York World's Fair, marking our first televised broadcast.
Yeah. I saw this in a movie once.
Now, these buildings over here on your left are where we house our production offices for writers, producers, and directors that currently have a development deal here at the studio. One of those producers, Mr. Brian Grazer, teamed up in 1986 with Ron Howard to create Imagine Entertainment. There you go, right there. Now those bungalows, folks, on your left-hand side that we just passed, those are where we leave the front lot behind. And guess what? We now enter the back lot. That's right. Now this is where we shoot the big stuff out here. Exterior sets on a very, very large scale. Now as we make our way through our metropolitan sets and our New York Street area, folks, take a look at these buildings because they're made out of brick and stone. Just kidding. Take a closer look at them because it's actually foam, rubber, and fiberglass. These aren't even complete structures. They're what we call facades. That's French for false fronts. We only build the fronts and the sides of these buildings, and we hope that your imagination will fill in the rest. Now, a lot of Hollywood's top directors use these streets every single day. Television shows, commercials, music videos as well. Now, take a look at your screen and then look off to your right-hand side. This is pretty cool.
Back dog. Inside.
I'll pause it right there for the third and fourth car to take a look, but look over to your right-hand side, folks. That right there is Brownstone Street, where Mr. Jim Carrey lived and Bruce Almighty.
Bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good. Oh, you're done now. Great. Beautiful.
And there you go, folks. It's been seen countless times. Check this out. Courthouse Square. It is currently dressed as the city of Grandview for the hit show Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. But does anybody know what it's most famous for? Anybody? Back to the Future. You might recognize this as Hill Valley from the Back to the Future films, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Oh yeah, over the years it's been used countless other times in other movies, including Amistad, Gremlins, Cat in the Hat. But now take a look at your screen and see if you can spot our Courthouse Square like you see it on the big screen. Look at this.
Our New England Street and San Francisco Street, but they're all pretty cool because we use them extensively all day, every day. Now we're going to be passing by this street right here called New York Street. Look to the left and the right of you and notice how the streets curve at the end. They make you think that the streets go on and on and on. That's one of Hollywood's illusions here. But now sometimes it becomes necessary for us to build a whole entire city block inside of a soundstage. And well, that's what we did right in front of us in this soundstage. Now folks, to have more control over the lighting and the sound, it sometimes becomes necessary to build a whole entire city block. Now have your cameras out, folks, because there's a big star waiting inside for you. I promise. Here you go. Take a look. Destruction continues east, causing thousands to flee their homes. Police admit that they are powerless to stop the enraged beast. Military units are rushing to the scene. The beast was last sighted near the 200 block of Old Fulton Avenue. We now go to live coverage on the scene with our helicopter reporter, Kelly King.
We're now hovering above the wreckage of a crushed L train.
big star and at 30 feet tall, 13,000 pounds, guess what? They don't get much bigger than that. Now that's a great example of a large-scale mechanical effect. These mechanical monsters can be as small as a tiny compy dinosaurs like the ones you saw in the Lost World Jurassic Park, or it can be as large as a full-grown Tyrannosaurus Rex and require several skilled technicians to operate them. In 1930, when RKO made the original King Kong, they didn't have the robotic technology that we have nowadays. In fact, the original King Kong was a special puppet that stood only 14 inches tall. That's just another one of Hollywood's illusions for you. But now that King Kong and the one you just saw inside that soundstage is nothing compared to the one you recently saw on the big screen. Director Peter Jackson used never-before-seen computer-generated imagery to bring Kong roaring back to life.
I first saw King Kong when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and it was the moment that I thought, I want to make movies. I want to be able to make movies just like King Kong. I just thought a version of this wonderful story told with the technology that we have available to us today would be a really amazing thing.
Well, King Kong would feel right at home on this street. Once again, this is our New York street. Now, Spider-Man 2 starring Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire, they spun their web all over this street. But don't let the name New York Street fool you, because it has been seen as other world-class cities, including Los Angeles and Charlie's Angels, San Francisco and Dirty Harry, and London in the Austin Powers films. Now, Alias starring Jennifer Garner shoots often over here, as well as Boston Legal starring James Spader and William Shatner. A couple months ago, we shot a movie out here called The Prestige, starring Christian Bale and Michael Caine. Now, like I said, a lot of Hollywood's top directors use our New York Street often, one of them being Robert Zemeckis. He transformed New York Street into Moscow for his hit Castaway, starring Tom Hanks. Now, let's take a look at some more of our New York Street and metropolitan area on the big screen.
Oh, they don't take you over the bridge. I used to play. That's part of the tour.
Yeah.
I think they will.
And you might have noticed back there on the left-hand side that the back side of those facades on our New York streets have some metal sheets to the back of them, and you're probably wondering why we do that. Well, very good reason. On a day such as today, where it's nice and sunny, we want to make sure that the sun does not shine through the opposite side if a director is filming, because it would ruin the illusion of it being a complete structure, right? Well, that's where those metal sheets come in place. Now, folks, take a look at your monitors and take a look over to your left-hand side, because these are our cars. They're called picture cars. Now, why do we call them picture cars? Well, it's any kind of car that you see in a movie is what we call a picture car, folks. Those two last cars you see back there, those are from the Fast and the Furious. But now take a look over your left-hand side, because this construction you see is for a new enhancement we have coming to our tour this summer. It's going to be based off our popular Fast and the Furious films. This one's going to be called Fast and the Furious Extreme Close-Up. Folks, if you have an annual pass today, make sure you get that process, because you are not going to want to miss this new enhancement. They keep showing us clips and what it's going to do, and it is going to be awesome. So, folks, make sure you come back in the summertime to check that out. Like I said, it's going to be awesome.
Fast and the Furious.
All right, folks. Now, right from leaving our back lot, we can take you right to, guess where? Costa Rica, folks. That's right. Take a look around you to the left and the right, because these props and sets you see all around us are all used, or were all used in the Jurassic Park film, in the Lost World Jurassic Park. You bigger fans might recognize that mobile lab unit over here on your left-hand side when it was hanging precariously off a cliff in Costa Rica in the Lost World. Well, guess what? It wasn't a cliff in Costa Rica. It was actually right here at Universal Studios parking lot. No joke. Uh-oh, what's that? What is that? Whoa! Whoa, sorry folks, sorry about that. All right. Hey, now take a look over here to your left. See these trees right here? Guess what? They're fake. It's no joke. They even have handles on them. Some of them are hollow, and well, some of them are even made out of styrofoam. foam. Those are what we call our fake plants. You can't use real plants on a hot set. Why, you ask? Well, a very good reason, folks. Think about it. You have a nice tree underneath all those hot lights. In a matter of moments, it would wither up and die. In this case, all you have to do, if a leaf falls off, you pick it back up and staple it back on just like that, folks. Those were all used in the Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park films, directed by Steven Spielberg. But now, he used a lot of weather effects in his movie because a lot of the scenes took place in a rainforest setting or the jungle. But now, sometimes we don't always have control over the weather when nature calls, but hey, what if we wanted to, you know, take care of the weather ourselves? Well, here in Hollywood, we do that often. Take a look at this. Some of our weather effects we can do by the snap of our hands. Because you might recognize some of these sets used in Three Amigos, starring Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. A couple episodes here from the OC, Without a Trace, and a critically acclaimed episode of ER, starring Mekhi Phifer, Mao Tierney, and Noah Wiley. Now, while we're here in Old Mexico, we're going to talk about weather like rain, because rain is a very big one that we often use. But before you have rain, you have to have thunder and lightning. The way you get thunder is from a loud soundtrack, and the way you get lightning is from strobe lights, and all you have to do for rain is say, cue the rain! And the rain will come flying over there on the left-hand side. Now the rain is a result of sprinklers located overhead. You shoot the water straight up and it falls right back down naturally, just like that. And that concludes our weather effects today, folks. And I can't turn it off. Okay, it's not working. The button's not working. Pete, do you have the button? I don't. It's my first day, guys. Sorry. Well, too much rain here in California. We're liable to have some flash floods. But don't worry, as long as I don't see the third car panicking, we should be okay. Oh, look, they're panicking. Watch out, folks. Looks like we have a flash flood coming straight for the tram. As a result of thousands of gallons of water released from the tank at the top of the hill, that water just gets recycled right back to the drinking fountains back at the park. Just kidding, folks. Just kidding. You might recognize that effect used in Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz and Paul Giamatti with Amanda Bynes. You can't outrun the wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that. Giamatti. Did you guys notice he was falling sideways? Ha! Get it? Sideways? Yeah, never mind. Okay. Take a look over your left-hand side. Janet Jackson's Escapade video shot right there, along with What's Love Got to Do with This, starring Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne. And really, folks, what does love got to do with it? I don't know. All right, well, from Mexico, I take you right to the heart of Texas. Welcome to 6 Points, Texas, folks. That's right, we call this 6 Points, Texas, because there's 6 different streets here. And back in 1915, Carl Laemmle would set up bleachers, and he would allow the public to come and watch a silent film being made. They can boo for the bad guys and cheer for the good guys, all for the admission price of 25 cents. And guess what? That included a sack lunch. No joke. Now take a look at what our 6 Points, Texas looked like in the movie Seabiscuit, starring Tobey Maguire. Now make sure you notice these doors. Some of them are larger and some are smaller than the others. Well, there's a very good reason for that. Our smaller, shorter cowboys, we would put them in front of the smaller doors to make them appear to be a little bit bigger, a little bit brawnier than they actually were. And our little ladies, well, we would put them in front of the larger doors just to make them appear to be a little more helpless, a little more demure. That, folks, is no joke. Take a look over your left-hand side. You can catch a nice glimpse of the backside of those facades. Now, remember earlier on in the tour I told you that we can take you from the bottom of the ocean to the surface of the moon? Well, this strange-looking contraption over here on your left-hand side, that's our underwater tank. How does it work? Well, you fill it with water and you throw actors in, just like that. keeps the camera nice and dry. And this portion of the asphalt right here we're driving over, that's the surface of the moon. All right, well, it's not, but we made it to look like it was in Ron Howard's film Apollo 13, starring Tom Hanks. That patch of grass on your right-hand side, that there is Central Park. It's not really Central Park, but we can make you think it is, so yeah. But now, by now, you're probably getting the idea that nothing is what it appears to be here in Hollywood. Well, that's because everything is based on illusions, and there's no better example than Peter Jackson's King Kong, a Universal picture, which much of the film was created using state-of-the-art computer animation. Jackson wanted to ground his fantastic creation in real environments. To solve this problem, Jackson turned to art director Dan Hanna and the Weta Workshop, and he discovered something called bigatures. Now, the actors were filmed against a green screen and then digitally composited into these bigatures. Over 800 of these bigatures were used for the film. Now, folks, what we're going to do right now is we're going to take you down the middle of the lagoon. Now, don't worry. I see your faces, everybody. We are trained, so don't worry. But take a look over to your left-hand side once we go down, because you will get the same exact shot Peter Jackson got when he filmed the scene where the SS Venture first arrived at Skull Island. And like I said, folks, this is one of the actual bigatures used in that film. So, folks, have your cameras out, because you are not going to want to miss this.
So on that side?
There's something moved. Well, maybe that's just the pump.
A little dramatic music for you. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Hey guys, we have cameras on each one of these trams. Let's check in with the fourth car and see how they're doing. How you guys doing back there? Oh, sorry guys. Oops. Hey, look, we'll get you some towels once we get back to the unload area. I'm sorry about that. Hey, sir, don't wet the camera. Don't. All right, sorry about that once again. I apologize. All right, well, coming up over here on your left-hand side, take a look at that big building. That is our prop department. Here, filming on the lot, all you have to do is have the set decorator come over, grab anything they absolutely need for the scene. Up on the fourth floor, we have costumes. Right below that, we have guns, knives, swords, shields. Anything you could possibly need for a movie is right inside of that building. And it works much like a giant supermarket. You go in with your list, and each prop has a barcode on it so that they can make sure it gets right back here once it's done being used in the film. Now, swords and shields would go perfectly well in this next area. This is called Square of Warriors. In 1960, it was transformed to look like ancient Rome for the hit Spartacus, and then 42 years later, it was used in Scorpion King, starring The Rock. Take a look at this. There it is. There it is in the Scorpion King, starring The Rock. An episode of Crossing Jordan used it as well. There it is right there. Now, the building you're seeing on your right-hand side is often seen as a foreign embassy government building of some sort. Now, in 1967, Julie Andrews used it for her movie musical, Thoroughly Modern Millie. Any of you musical theater fans on board? Oh, yeah? Now, remember I told you we can take you just about anywhere in the world? Well, guess what? I'm going to prove that to you right now, because we're taking you to Spain. Or Paris. Well, it can be any European country we want it to be. All we have to do is change the words all over these streets and signs. But folks, welcome to Little Europe. Take a close look around you, because Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and its 2 hit sequels to that movie all were filmed right over here on these streets. Now, the Pink Panther film starring Steve Martin, the one that just recently came out, they used these streets as Paris. Now, also a new movie called The Good German starring Tobey Maguire, George Clooney, and Cate Blanchett shot out here a couple months ago. Check for that later on next year. Now, it was originally built in 1929 for All Quiet on the Western Front. You might recognize this street used as Pamplona, Spain in the Running of the Bulls scenes in the beginning of City Slickers starring Billy Crystal. Now, what if we wanted to bring a storybook to life? Well, all we would have to do is change the colors of these buildings and make it a little more animated, like we did for Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, starring Whitney Houston and Brandy, and Geppetto, starring Drew Carey. Now, what about good old Michael Jackson? Well, he moonwalked all over this street right here, doing his moonwalk video. Oh yeah. Now, take a look to your right, folks, because you cannot talk about Europe and Universal without mentioning what? Movie monsters. That's right. Take a look over to your right-hand side. We call this Court of Miracles, folks. This right here is where some of your favorite classic monsters have all gotten their start. Frankenstein, Mummy, Wolfman, Dracula, they've all roamed these streets at one time or another. Take a look at your screen and check out some of your favorite monsters to roam these streets. Take a look over to your right-hand side, folks. There it is. Now, folks, you guys are in for a treat because right in front of us is a sound stage that we call a hot set. Hot set meaning it is actually, there is some filming going on this week. They've been filming in there this week. They are not filming today, and they're going to allow us to go inside. So you guys have your cameras out because this is what a real hot set looks like. Now, everybody taking a break for the day, and this is awesome. This is a two-story sound stage, which means you can film up above and down below at the same time. It takes place in a San Francisco subway street. It is an action scene they're shooting in here, but over on the left-hand side you can see a lot of the camera equipment, lighting, and on the right we have some rigging stuff right here. Now it's pretty bare right now, but if this is actually during filming time, there would be a lot of extras, a lot of crews standing around. And this is a good time for me to talk to you a little bit about continuity, because continuity in a film is extremely vital. You have to make sure that when you call for a break or a cut, everything has to be in the exact same spot, just like that, folks. And they actually have people walking around taking pictures of everything to make sure that everything... Hey, it's just a little tremor. It's California. Get used to it. So as I was saying, whoa, okay, hey. Hold on, folks. Everything's going to be okay. Hold on. The roof's coming down back there. Watch out. Survived earthquake, the big one, registered at 8.3. Thanks a lot, Pete. All right, well, that is a great example of a large-scale mechanical effect based off our 1970s and 1980s disaster films. That one was inspired by our 1970 film Earthquake. Now, you might recognize that effect used in Beverly Hills Cop 3 starring Eddie Murphy when he roamed the theme park. Oh, yeah, pretty cool. Now, I have a question. How many of you guys are on vacation today? All right, put your hands down. How many of you need a vacation? I do. Well, I'm going to be taking you to the quiet little New England town of Amity. It's where they had that man-eating great white shark. But don't worry, folks, because we caught the shark. He's actually hanging up over here. You have nothing to worry about, folks. Now, my buddy George, he's in the water right now. Let's see if we can get a nice little... Hey, George, I brought some friends by. How you doing down there? Hey, George, there's something coming right for you, George. George? You might want to get out of the water, George. What are you, Steve Irwin? Hey, get out of the... Stand up. He had a lot of guts for being out there, guys. Oh, and there they are. Okay, I got an idea. Pete, take us up next to these gasoline barrels. I bet we'll be safe there. Oh yeah, now you guys keep your eye on that yellow barrel out there. We attached some bait to it. If he takes that bait, we are golden. Now we're on the pier. We have absolutely nothing to worry about. Just hang on tight. We're okay. He took it. Yes, he took it. And he's taking the pier. Okay, hey, hang on tight, folks. Is that gasoline over there? Whoa, that can't be good. I hope you guys signed those waivers at the beginning of the tour. Did you do that?
Oh man,
Okay,
really?
just sit tight. Everything's gonna be okay. All right. Whoa! Bruce the shark, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce the shark. I know what you're thinking. That shark looks pretty fake up close, right? Well, why were you all screaming then? Yeah. Take a look behind you and you can see the only shark in the world that can do the backstroke. Now take a look back at your monitors and check out Mr. Universe. Just kidding, it's a joke, it's a joke. Now that shark, like the one you saw in the movie, was much of a menace off screen as he was on screen. He actually sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean on the first day of filming. They were thinking about renaming the movie from Jaws to Flaws. Oh yeah, but now take a look at this. Steven Spielberg talking a little more about that with some of the members of the cast of the trials and tribulations of working with Bruce.
Malign shark, it didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio mics. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited. The shark worked well enough that we, for a while there, had the biggest hit of all time. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Wow, this is the worst scene in the movie. I hate it. It gives me the willies every time. That kept me out of the water. And there you go, Steven Spielberg right there inside the mouth of Bruce. Now, I keep calling him Bruce for a reason because he was named Bruce after Steven Spielberg because Bruce was the name of Mr. Spielberg's attorney. No joke. All right, now, folks, do you watch a little ABC show called Desperate Housewives? Well, guess what? You're in for a treat because it has been closed for a while, but they opened it up to us recently, and you guys are going down Wisteria Lane, where all the crazy women of Desperate Housewives live, right here. Now, take a look, folks. This is Wisteria Lane, like you see it on ABC's Desperate Housewives. Let me show you around the neighborhood. Over here on the left-hand side, the house with the columns is where Gabrielle, played by Eva Longoria, lives. Look at her nice lawn. Must have had a nice gardener in the first season, huh? Right next door to her is where Alfre Woodard's character, Betty Applewhite, lives, once home to 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Right next door to her is Susan's house, played by Terry Hatcher. Across the street from there, next door to her is Felicity Huffman's house, Lynette. Across from her is Marsha Cross's house, Bree's character. And right next door to Marsha Cross is the plumber's house. Oh yeah, there he is. His F-150 is usually outside, but I think he's driving it around town today. But now this street has not always been Wisteria Lane. It was also Colonial Street. A lot of other shows have shot here, music videos as well. Now take a look over here, coming up right in front of us and off to your right-hand side. That pink house is Edie's house, Nicolette Sheridan's character right there. Now that is a practical set, which means we can film inside as well as outside, all at the same time. Now aside from Edie's house down there, that pink one, all the rest of these houses are not even complete structures. There's nothing inside of them. There's just a little bit of entryway, and then other than that, everything else is shot inside of a soundstage here down on the lower lot. But now, take a look at your monitors and check out Desperate Housewives like you see it on ABC every Sunday night. Look at this. I was actually in this clip right here. I'll show you. It's pretty cool. Welcome.
Wisteria Lane.
No one's ever baked me a cake on my name.
I'm not going to drop you. I might strangle you for climbing up here.
Here I go, folks. I'm coming up. I'm coming up.
You gotta be kidding. She washed her car yesterday.
There I am. That's me.
Oh, no, she's not.
Oh, no, there I am right there. That's me right there.
$20 anything.
Artificial snow to cover 9 football fields, and what would a Christmas movie be without candy canes? Well, we use 1,938 to be exact. Thank you. Now, who would have thought the residents of Whoville would live right next door to a Psycho? Oh yeah, the infamous Bates Motel and Psycho House right here, one of the oldest sets in Hollywood, still standing. All right, take a shot right here with your camera and you'll get the same exact viewpoint director Alfred Hitchcock got. Oh yeah, there's Janet Leigh's car right there, and there's the psychopath. Get it? Psychopath? Okay, all right, well, coming up, one of the most impressive movie sets ever created, the spectacular crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. We're going to be taking you right into the heart of this colossal set, stopping our tram for a few moments to allow you to get some amazing pictures, so hang on tight. You're not going to want to miss this.
Right now you're going to see
Well, that plane crash in the neighborhood, remember? No, in the War of the Worlds.
Now this amazing set is what remains of the neighborhood where Tom Cruise hides out in the film. That is an actual plane which was destroyed specifically for this incredible scene.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
Like I said before, this set for War of the Worlds is one of the largest ever constructed, but despite the use of these life-size realistic sets, the film featured over 500 effect shots. That's more than Spielberg has ever used before. So obviously, as you've just seen, audiences got a lot of bang for their buck. Now, as we make our way out of that area, take a look over here right in front of us and off to your right-hand side. You might recognize that brown and green cabin used in The Great Outdoors, starring John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. It was also used on the hit television show Coach, starring Craig T. Nelson, and you desperate Housewives fans, you remember the episode where Bree sends her son to reform camp? That was it right there. Now, take a look behind the cabin, because that big blue thing back there, you're probably asking yourself, what is that? Well, that is called Falls Lake, and it's one of the largest freestanding backdrops in the world, and the way it works is right behind, right in front of that blue backdrop, there's a big hole. There's actually 3 big holes right there, and you can fill them with water, and you can fill it with water, sand, dirt, anything the script may call for, and it's been seen a lot in our film finales, but all that stuff you're seeing right in front of that big blue backdrop, that's in preparation for Evan Almighty, the sequel to Bruce Almighty, starring Steve Carell from The Office and Morgan Freeman returning as God. Now, TLC's Waterfalls video shot right out there as well. You can change that blue screen to make it a green screen to add some CGI to it, which is pretty cool. But now take a look at your monitors and check out our Falls Lake in action. See if you can spot it. There it is in Jaws Revenge. Jurassic Park 3. The Hulk. Apollo 13 splashdown scene shot right out there as well. Van Helsing when Frankenstein rode away on the water. And Bruce Almighty when Jim Carrey walked on water. And Oh Brother Where Art Thou, starring the cow. Just kidding, folks, that wasn't a real cow, that was CGI, or computer-generated imagery, and I'm telling you, it's taking over the world. It has revolutionized the movie-making process. It's going to put actors like me out of... Here is, okay, it looks like he's under a curse, folks. All right, we're going in. Everybody everybody just sit tight and hang on. We'll be okay. And don't touch anything. I don't want to be responsible. All right, just hang on tight, folks, and it's dark in here. That's great. That's great. Okay, we'll be out in a minute. Oh, there's Scarabeetles on the right. Oh, okay. All right, everybody just,